Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up your tricot project for the AVISA program. It's very important that everything should be done in CleanMob because CleanMob is the platform that we use to make the randomization, to define the service, and also to analyze the data. So here you're going to see the process from designing your project until collecting the data. First thing is that this video is intended for the project managers of Visa. But if you also comes from a different program, you can also take some of the examples here, and then I'm going to show you how you can design your trial. First, it's important that you log in. This is like the CleanMob, the platform CleanMob, no, for CleanMob.net for the entire, like for the general user. But it's important that you, when you do the example that I'm showing here, you go to avisa.cleanmob.net. So this is the web page, avisa.cleanmob.net. You can also see this link in the description of this video. So don't worry if you don't take the entire path for it. Just go to the description of the video. So then we go to the web page specific for Visa. So depending on where you're seeing this video, when you can maybe you see a different design because we are still working in the main page, you know. But now, for example, you see that we have 31 users and 12 projects registered. So if you don't have yet a account in the Visa CleanMob, you should click here in login or request an account. If you have an account, you just put your username and the password. But if you don't have an account, you just click here, create an account. You put your name. So for example, your full name. And then you put your email. I will just put a random email. And then you put the name of your organization. The country that you are from, and the sector. No, so then I will use a CGR organization, and then you choose your username. So I recommend you that you use a simple name, no, like or the one that you remind later. So for example, here I can use Cauê Souza, so my name. So you don't. I would recommend you to use a lowercase text, no, not just with a capital or something like this. Just use lowercase and put your name or something that you remember, and then you choose the password. So now here my navigator is choosing the password for me, but you choose your password, you agree with the terms, and then you register yourself. So then later you can go to the login on this project. Another thing that's very important in this video, I'm going to show you an example for the beans group. You know, so this is in Avisa we have the 5 crops, but here I'm going to show the beans group, and I will follow up this from the meetings that we had in the past. No, the meetings when we defined the plot size, we talked about the varieties, and we also talked about the common traits, the traits that are going to be evaluated, which is something that we are doing here in this video, and some of the on-farm trial characterization. So I will follow this guideline that we defined in our meetings for each of the working groups. And if you don't have access to this guideline, please just contact me to my email or your direct supervisor, so then you can get this for your crop. No, if you are not working with the beans. But I will show the example here with the beans. So this is my CleanUp web page. I'm using this account, which is a Visa CleanUp administrator. And here, when you open this the first time, now, so you see that there is nothing here. Like show for you, the first thing in the middle, for example, is the create a new project. So this is what we are going to do here. And then you can see, for example, here this is in your profile. Now, if you click here, profile, You can see, for example, your API key, which is something that I also asked it for you to provide to me. So then with this, I can retrieve the data that you have without touching the data now. So I just can access it. I can help you in analyzing it, but I don't touch it. I don't move. I don't make any change in the data. So it's safe for both of us now to use this API key. And then you see the library. So since we had this meeting, so most of the library is already filled for you now. So you don't have the need to fill up your library. The only thing that you have to do is your field agents. Now you have to define the field agents, the people that are going to the field to collect the data and to distribute the seeds in your project. And here in downloads, you can take the files that are produced during the trial, or during this project, and then you can use this like the package codes and everything. So what I'm going to do here first is registering the field agents. So remember, the field agents are the technicians or the people that are going to actually work with the farmers and communicate with them and distribute the seeds and go to the to the to the field to collect the data and all the activities related to it. So here, what we do is that you can create an account, like a sub account for your field agents. So then every time that they upload or they need to access the service that we are going to generate here, they just need to go to their accounts. So for example, let's imagine that I'm going I have a field agent. So let's call it Samuel, I don't know, Smith. And then you can create a username. I use the same idea as the previous Samuel Smith. And then now it will ask you for a password, but this is actually not actually necessary because we now don't use the password anymore. We use the QR code, which is something that I'm going to show you in another video, in the next video, how you can link the service, the field agent account with the service that we are going to generate, and how can you upload the data to to your project. But I just use a password like just a 12345, and then you click on add, and I will create another field agent. Let's say Monica Miller. I don't know, and then you just put, and then you just put the same the same name, and also I will I will yeah, we will create a new one. Let's say this is for the beans group, and in Tanzania we work with with Fadili. So let's put Fadili Kasu Kasubiri. So then this is his name. So Fadili will be also be a field agent in my account. And then another password. It's the same. So we just put a password just to fill up the field because it's not necessary anymore. And already now we have a library of the field agents. So remember, you can put as many field agents you want. It doesn't need to be for just this project. It's just the people that works in your team that are going to take the data and engage with the farmers. So here, as I said before, we are going to work with the example of with the beans, no? So then I will create a project here. And then I also have the other things, like I forgot to show, but this is the technology options, no. So for example, if there are some of the people already provide me the names for the varieties, no. So for example, here I have the beans. So I have bean cowpea, finger millet, groundnut, pear millet, and sorghum. So I have the crops already that are considered in AVISA, so it's there, and then I have the name of the varieties. No, so if you when you design your project and you don't see the name of your variety here, I recommend that you don't put here yourself. It's better that if you send me the email, and then I put this in the main library, so everyone has access to the name of this variety, not only you. So then we don't have like a confusion or names that are duplicated or things like that. So it's better that we fill up this library with the administrative account. So then it's more easy to connect the projects between different teams. No? But then I'm going to create the project. So I click here and create a project. And this is, let's see that I'm going to create a project for Tanzania. So being the Tanzania. Just a small code with just 6 to 10 characters, so it should be short. So then you add the code for the project. And here in the project name, you can put a bigger name. No? So like let's say being trial in North Tanzania. And then here you put the description, test 10 bean genotypes in Tanzania. And then you put the tag should be like the keywords. You so let's put a visa, for example, and then bean, and then Tanzania, and then, for example, Paula or something like this. And then the trial coordinator. This is the name, like this is the name of your team leader. No, so so let's say that here the trial coordinator will be me. Like, but I will put my name here, but you have to put the name of the team leader. No, the guy that is coordinating your tricot project. So I put my name here. And then you put your email. I'm just using a fake email, but you know my email now, so then you just need to talk to me. So the number of participants depends on how many people you are targeting and the plans that you have for your project. But let's say that in this project we are targeting 100 farmers. So here's where you can put the number of farmers. But my recommendation is that if you are targeting 100 farmers, I would recommend you to instead of putting 100 like precisely, I would recommend you that you put for, like 150. So then you can generate 50 extra packages for safety. Like for example, if you lose a package, or if you don't if you by chance you can have more seeds, and then you have more farmers also to enjoy to enroll in your project. So you have like the safety measurements. No, it's a 50 packages more. And don't worry if you don't use these packages, the 50 extra, because this will not affect the main results of your project. No, because the randomization is done in a systematic way, but in blocks. So in generally in a block of 10, for example, if you are testing 6 varieties in each block of 10 packages, from 1 to 10, these varieties will be tested 4 times. So they will occur in a very balanced way in blocks of 10 packages. So it doesn't really matter if you don't use the 50 packages. So in this project we are targeting 100, but I will put here 150 as a measure of the safety. And then I will put the country, let's say it's Tanzania. And then it asked me which kind of project I want. So the first one is registrations done first, followed by one or more data collection. So this is the kind of data project, the kind of project that is used for the crops. Now we distribute the seeds, we give the seeds to the farmers, and then the farmers will plant it. And then after some days after planting, we go to the field, and the field agents go to the field, and then they take the information in what they call here data collection moments. The second type of data is where it's morely for consumer preference. For example, when you want, for example, to test the like say taste, the tasting trials. You want to see the test the taste of the beans, for example. So then you can take the data right away. So you give like a sample of three beans, cooked beans, no, and then the people test it, and at the same time, at the moment, they will give to you the answer, no. So you don't need to wait some days to go to take the answer. So, but in a visa, most of the trials will be this one. Registration is done for first. So then you will create the project. And then it says that you remember that you have to fill up the library. But in the case of a visa, I already did this for you with the support of our meetings, all the inputs that we got in these meetings. So you actually don't need to fill up the library, only the field agents. So if you need a question that you don't see here, just contact me, so I will put so everyone can have the same question with the same code. So the first thing we see here in this project is that we have the project now with 100 packages, but now we have to start designing it. Now we have to make the project to get live to it. So then the first thing that we are doing is assigning the field agents. Now who are going to be the people that are working in this project. So remember that in my library I had three field agents, but I don't need exactly to work with the three field agents. So then you choose the people that are going to work in this project. So let's say that in this project I will work with Fadili and with Samuel, for example. And then I will select those two, and then I just need to add, and it's here. So if I go back to the main menu, it says that it's already done. No, it's completed. So now the field agent is assigned to the project. This is first step is done. And then select the technology. Remember that we are working with the bean. Knowing this example is for the beans, but you see that there is the other crops are here as well. So I will select here a bean. So we should click on these three dots here. And then it will open for me the bean varieties that are registered in this library. Again, if you don't see the name of your variety or your genotype here, I would recommend you that instead of you putting just the name here, I would recommend you to send me the name, so I put it here so everyone has access to the names. So then it's much easier to join the project by the end, when projects for many different trial coordinators. So in this case, I will use set 10 varieties. No, so then let's choose these varieties here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I will also use, add check varieties. Remember that in the AVISA project, we are targeting, we are aiming to use varieties or genotypes from stage 4 and 5 of the breeding pipeline in AVISA. So the promising lines that you have and that you want to test in your on farm. But also we have to measure the genetic gain and see how superior are the new genotypes compared to varieties that are already released in the system. We have to compare it with what we call here the check varieties. No, so then when you select the varieties for your project, you should also select the check varieties right away. You don't need to add the variety after, like a supplemental variety. The check variety should be included in the randomization in this step. Okay, so in this case I selected 8 genotypes, and then I will also select two check varieties. Let's say that I'm going to work with this one, cat B9, which is a check variety. And let's say that I'm going to work with let's say that I'm going to work with Liamungo 90 and Kalima Viole, which is also a check. So there are two checks in my trial, and I'm selecting two checks plus the eight varieties and the eight genotypes that are promising in my breeding pipeline. So, and then I select the 10, and then I save it, and here we see the 10 selected. There is 16 available, and then I selected 10. So the selection of the varieties is based on this, also in the availability of the seeds. Know how many seeds you are available to use in your project. So, but generally are the promising lines of your breeding program. But also some check varieties. Now, the check varieties are the varieties that are already released in the seed system. So then you can compare, you can have these varieties as the benchmark for your to check the superiority of your breeding program. So then if I go to the main menu, the technologies are already done. No? So then there is the registration form. So the registration form is when you distribute the seeds, is the form or the survey that you are going to ask to the farmers when you distribute the seeds to them. And in this part, it's the important here is that you can use this information to track the farmer back. You know? So if you when you distribute the seeds, so then you can contact the farmer again in the future, no, in the next days for the data collection. So then in this registration, we are going to have this kind of data. So then I will click here in prepare registration form. And now we are going to do the ODK, like how the survey will be displayed in your phone. No? So how this will be displayed in your phone. And here we have even the like a kind of layout for it. And each of these sections is like a one page in the phone. No? So it's like if you create a new section, so then you have to jump to a next page in the phone. So this is important. So I recommend you not to put so many questions in one same section. So you don't need to scroll down the survey. No, it's better if you just move it like forward with the question. So the first thing for this is the questions are available here, no, in the participant information. You see? So the questions, all the questions are here, no, like the crop traits, uh, on-farm characterization, claim of questions, and participant information. So here I will drag. You just need to click in the question and you drag it here. So in this case, for the participant information, the questions that I recommend to use are these that I'm going to drag now. But if you need some extra questions, just let me know, and then we can create in the library. But remember, the idea here is that we can have information that it's useful to contact the farmer, not to track the farmer when they when we want to go back to take the information, the evaluations from them. So here we are going to put the village, the district. Some cases, no, in some places, some farmers have access to cell phones, so we can also put it here. See here that as the time I will put it, the questions are shown here in this example, and the questions that are mandatory, you know, so the questions that you cannot go forward with the server without replying it are indicated with the red asterisks. And the questions that are not required don't have it. So for example, some farmers don't have cell phone. No? So if I put the question mandatory, will be a problem for the field agents. So the question here is not mandatory. So the field agent can just skip this question, but I recommend you to not, if the farmer have this phone, so don't skip this question. I'll try to fill it up. And then the age as well. And then the experience with the crop. The experience with the crop is how many years. This is the how many years the farmer have experience growing this crop. Then you just need if the farmer has no experience, so you just need to put 0. Uh, and then the gender and the point of delivery. The point of delivery is the GPS point for where you deliver the seed. No. So then I had put all the questions here, but I recommend you to for example to create this into few sections in different sections now in the service, so you don't need to do this like scroll down here in the when you are navigating in the survey in the cell phone. So to create a new section, I just need to create section, and then let's say that this one will be called geo for geographic geographic, and then geo. And then I will put all the questions related to the village, to the district, and point of delivery. And then I will create another one called social, for example, with the social economic questions. No? So, and then I will put here the gender, the experience with the crop, and the age. And also, let's say that it's the cell phone also goes here. So then I already have my survey for the registration. So remember that this will have the package code and the farmer name, which are provided by CleanUp by default. You cannot get rid of these two questions because they are the most important ones. And then we created 2 extra sections with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 7 questions. No, where to. So then this will help us to identify the farmer in the next steps of this trial. If you go back here to the main menu, you can see that this step is already completed, and you can generate your packages. So I will do this later because now I want to prepare also this service for the data collection moments. No, so this is the I will create here. And remember that we are working with beans in this thing that this guideline that we defined in the meetings that we have with AVISA, with all the partners in AVISA. So I have this it's found here. You can see here. We added this. So if you don't see this for your crop, it's much likely that we did not have this discussion yet. So this is what we call the data collection moment. So after the farmer plant the seeds, remember that in the tricot design you distribute the seeds, and depending on the crop. So let's say in the case of beans, is generally 2 weeks before the beginning of the season. It's what we did generally in Central America, for example, 15 days before the beginning of the season. And then the farmer, after they get the seeds, they can choose which day they will plant. They decide which day they will plant. Remember that the day should be the same day. They have to plant the all the 3 varieties in the same day, and they have to remember which day they planted. So then we can check, for example, the climate information. And then after this, the trial is started, and then we have the data collection moments, which are the moments that the field agent go to the field or they contact the farmer, depending on the situation in your country. If it's possible to contact the farmer via cell phone or something in other method, it's also okay. So then the farmer will do this, the field agent. So in the case of beans, we agreed that we have three data collection moments. The first one is between 10 and 15 days after planting. The data collection is collected, it's called vegetative. And then the other one is 30 to 40 days after planting, which we'll call the reproductive. And the other data collection moment is from 60 to 90 days, which we call the post-harvest. And then we have this small abbreviation, which is DC1, DC2, and DC3 for data collection 1, data collection 2, and data collection 3. So, and if you go here, you see the traits, the traits that we are going to evaluate, for example, for beans. So we have a germination, vigor, disease resistance, pest resistance, and all the traits here. And and then it shows to you the data collection moment that we decided, in our meetings, that we decided that should be collected in each data collection moment. So for example, here we see that germination, for example, is in DC1, and we see that the disease resistance is collected in DC1 and DC2 now. So in two times we ask the same question, which is also one of the advantages of this trial design in ClimUp now, that you can ask the question several times, even in different data collection moments. And then it goes on until we have the last question for the DC3. So here, first thing that I'm going to do in the ClimUp platform is to, and also the other questions is related to the on-farm characterization. Most of these questions, it's also a question that we defined in our meetings, is related to data collection 1. When the field agents go to the field, and then they will characterize the trial based on the plot that the farmer decided to choose. No? So most of the questions are for data collection 1. The first question is the planting date, so which date the farmer decided to plant, which is the GPS location of the trial, what's the name of the local variety, the variety that the farmer already growing in their farm. So if they have a name for this local variety, you just need to put it there. Which plant density the farmer decided to use? Now, if it was the plant density that we recommended here, or if it was some other plant density. So we just need to know if they followed the recommendation, if they decided to do something else. The other one is the plot size. If the farmer decided to take the recommendation, or if they decided to take another plot size, is also okay. But remember that all these plots should have the same size. So if the farmer decided to use a different plot size than our recommendation, it's okay, but all the three should have the same size. And then previous land use. So this is it's a very important question to know what was the use of the land before the establishment of this plot. So then we know if there was any influence of the previous land use on the performance of the crop. And the other questions are related to the development of the trial. No? So, for example, previous plant damage, if any plant suffered damage, how was the damage? If there was any disease, no, if the find any disease in the trial, where the disease affected, if it was in the roots or leaves, the disease severity, and the harvest date. Okay. So now let's go to define the three data collection moments for this example. But if you are working with the different crop, you just need to follow the guideline in the file for your crop. So the first one will be vegetative. So I use this exactly the same name that we have here. So, and then a interval of days, I will just put 10 days. This is not so important practically. This is just to guide you on the dates, no? So then you just need to put the first interval here, and then you just add it. So now you have one data collection moment, and we create one which is the reproductive, and this is going to be 30 days. So another data collection moment, and now post harvest, which is going to be 60 days, and then we add it. So now we already have the 3 data collection moments for the beans. So now we can, for each of the data collection moments, we can start to put the questions that we defined here. So let's go first for the vegetative. If you click here in the 3 dots, you can access the survey, you know. So I will make it a bit bigger here. And this one will be just to follow. Okay, so this is it. So then I will click here for the vegetative, and then it shows to me the data collection moment and the default question, which is the farmer, no, the name of the farmer. And then for DC1, what we defined is that the questions that are going to be asked in the DC1 of vegetative is the germination, is disease resistance, it's pest, pest, drought, drought tolerance, and these are the questions, DC1. And then let's see here in the on-farm characterization. The questions are available here, OFT characterization. So then we have planting date, we have trial GPS, we have the name of the local variety, we have the planting density, we have the plot size, previous land use, and we have diseases any, and we also have diseases where, and we also have disease severity. So now all the questions are in the same thing, no, in the same section. So then remember that I said before, it's better to have it in one single question, no? So let's first call one section called OFT, for example, for on-farm characterization. And then I will put this question here, and I will put, for example, the planting date. I will put the plot size, for example, the GPS. I can also create a better one, which is only for the GPS. GPS. So I will put it here, GPS. So this is the trial GPS. And then OFT is planting date, plot size, plant density, local variety, and previous land use. So then I will create another one for the germination. I will basically create one for each of the traits, so it's much better to navigate in the survey. And remember that the survey I'm going to show is in the next video. So I will put germination here, and then I will use diseases, So then diseases, and then diseases any, diseases where, and diseases severity. So for this one, since they are a bit long questions, I will create a diseases 2. So then I will put these questions, disease any, disease where, and disease severity. And then the other one is pest. And the other one is drought. So I will put pest here and drought here. This one, it's always generated, but I can also yes, I can just put a pest here, and then I don't need this one. Or I can use this one. Yes, I will just take away this section on pests, but I added the pest one to this section called main section, and I will call it pest. Now we have, so here's the questions for data collection 1. So I just need to go back here in prepare data collection, and then I have the questions for vegetative, 14 questions. And then let's go to reproductive. Reproductive is DC2, no? So in DC2, there are only 2 questions regarding no, I'm using the other one, the other table. So in DC2, there is one, there is vigor. We have vigor. We have disease resistance again. We have pest, drought, and we have plant survival. And we have this. So these are the questions regarding the traits. And then we have also plant damage. Plant damage how, and we have diseases, the 3 questions for diseases. Now disease any, diseases where, and disease severity. So now I can start to create the questions. Now I will create one for pest resistance. It's I call the pest, and then I just need to take the question pest resistance and put it here. I will put another one for drought. Remember that this question is just to help you navigate in the cell phone, when you create when you are filling up the survey. So the names here of the sections don't need to be like a very precise or something more very, don't need to be this. The names of the questions are the most important. The sections are just to help you navigating in the cell phone. So, and then I will call the other one diseases. And then diseases resistance. And then the other one is diseases 2, no? Disease 2. with the questions regarding the diseases, any disease severity and diseases where. And then the other one is about damage. And the other one is survival. So then I just need to put plant damage here, plant damage, and plant damage how, and plant survival. Okay, so now I have the questions for data collection moment 2. So 11 questions. And then comes the final data collection moment, which is the post-harvest. And let's see which questions are used in this data collection. I know there is many because this is like the final one. So we also have a plant survival, we have maturity, we have yield, which is the yield from the questions, tricot question, on which variety gave you best yield and which one gave the lower yield. So this is the tricot question, but we also have the yield for the grain, or the actual yield, that where you're going to take the yield from volume, or I don't know which kind of approach we decided for the crop. But in the case of beans, for example, can be taking volumes as in tins, no? So this is called grain yield, grain yield. And then in grain yield, if you see here, the question is the grain yield of option A, B, and C. So then you just need to type the number, no, the value of the yield. And then grain size, grain color, marketability, taste, cooking time. Overall, this is the final question. It's like which, based on all these traits that we asked during these 90 days, which variety or which genotype, which option do you prefer best? And which one do you prefer less? Now, which are the best and the worst in overall? So this is the overall preference. And this is the overall versus local, which is another question regarding the compared to the local variety, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the option A or the local? Do you prefer option B or the local? Do you prefer option C or the local? So this is overall versus local. Local means the varieties that the farmer already grow there. And there is another one which is called the grow again, asking if the farmer is interested in growing again one of these varieties. No, which one? They, the question is even here. Which option would you like to grow again in the next season? So then the farmer will indicate if the farmer wants to grow A, B, or C, none of those, or all of those. So this is the question. And grow again, and then this is the traits, and then let's see here in this we have this C3 for this. So DC3 is plant damage. Plant damage. And the other one is plant damage how? Plant damage how? So, and then the final one is harvesting date. So now I can, we have these questions. So my recommendation that we have one section for all of the questions, so then it's easy to navigate, as I said. So then let's go for maturity. Maturity. Let's go for yield. So this is the yield. So let's go for grain yield, which is the actual measurement of the yield. And then you see here the question. Let's go for grain size. Color. So green color. Let's go for marketability. Marketability. Let's go for taste. Taste. What else? Cooking time. So cooking time. Let's go for overall. Overall preference. And now overall versus local. And then grow again. Let's put it here in the same question, or maybe we can put grow again in overall preference. And then we have plant survival, plant damage how, and then we have harvest date. So then we can put harvest date here in the beginning. And then harvest date can also have different, the question here is a bit, there is two options. Now you can put the date for each. For example, remember if the some of the varieties are late and the other one are earlier varieties, so the harvest date could be the different dates, no? So then you can also put the date for each of the options. So which day you harvest the crop in option A, option B, and option C. So if it's the same date, just put the same for all the three. But if the farmer decided to do it in different days, just indicate here. So now we have these questions. And there's another comment that I have, because in some of the meetings, the one of the some of the team leaders, they also asked that some of the questions about more about agronomic traits. No, for example, when you need the data to submit the information to the seed system to release the variety. So there is one options that you can create another data collection moment, and you can use the questions that are important for this data collection moment, where the field agents or the technician go and take the measurements by themselves. No, not asking the farmer, but actually go to the field and measure this. So I even add some questions here. For example, if you see, there are some questions on this topic For example, one is the plant height, the other one is the spike length, for example, and for the grass species. The other one is the flowering date. So when the variety reach the 50% of the flowering for each of the options. So there are the questions for the extra collection moments, when it's like additional ones. So one of our ideas that you sample, for example, if you are using 100 farmers, you can take a sample of, I don't know, 20, and then you go by yourself, and then you measure these traits by yourself, and then you can create a separate data collection moment here. You know how to do it now. You just need to go to data collection moment, and this is moving. Even if the project is started, you can still create a new data collection moment like any time that you want. It doesn't matter if the project started. So then we have the 4 steps completed, and now we can create the randomization. So I will put it bigger so we don't need the other thing anymore. And I just click here in generate packages, and it starts to do the moving on the generation of the package. So now it shows to me the 150 packages, and remember that I add the check variety directly in the plot, no, in the design. And so then we can see for each of the packages, package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 150. And each of the packages we have option A, B, and C, and we have the names of the varieties that should be assigned to the trial. And we see that, for example, for each block of 10, for example, the variety will occur 3 times. Let's see, for example, RCB 395 here, and then it will occurs again RCB 395, RCB 395 here again, and then RCB 395 here. So remember, see that in the 3 cases that it occurs in this block of 10, it is this in a different way. Now it's compared to different varieties, and also here is the A, and here is the B, and here is the C. So this is how actually should be, the tricot design, and this is why it's so important that we make the randomization in the tricot in the CleanUp platform. So, and then you see the check varieties here, Kalimayoli here, and here as well, and also here. And then when you start to distribute the package, it's important that you start from 1, and then you go forward with the package. You don't need to randomize the package anymore. You just need to follow the order, from 1 until the number of farmers that you are going to work with. So then I confirm this. And once I have confirmed, the registration is open. So now I can start to distribute the package. But to distribute the package, I need to make the packages. And to make it, I can go here to downloads, and I can see the list of packages. And the first one is the list of packages with QR code, which is still generating. But the one that is important is this CSV file, which shows to me the name of the varieties in each of the packages, the same table that we were seeing before, but now you have it in an Excel file. So then you can print it out, and then you send it to the nursery or the people that manages the seeds, so then they know where each variety goes. Okay, so this is how you design your tricot project. And this is like all the step from selecting the varieties until making the trial and the registration and the data collection. In the next video, I'm going to show to you how you can link the service from here to CleanUp to your cell phone, and how you can upload the data to the cell phone as well. Okay? So this is the video, and I hope that you learned how to design your project and how to create your project. Thank you.